Now again, well, okay, so let's understand this whole business and then start writing the code. So you guys can help me to complete this code. If I do any mistake, please help me. Yeah, it started. Okay, so we are going to okay, let's read this quickly. You are required to build a console based shop management system using object oriented programming concepts. The system should help a shopkeeper manage product. So what we have to manage: products, customers and sales. नो, आप थोड़ा पीछे चले जाएं अगर आपको आईज हर्ट हो रही है तो. वेल well, what we have to do: understand the goal. The system should help a shopkeeper to manage products, customers and sales. Your program should read data from the file when it starts and save the data back to the file before it exits. So now this is a very big statement. Like when your application start, read all data, and your application ends, save all data. So yes, it basically this is little confusing. Like even it's not recommended to read all the data when applications start, and you cannot decide when the application will close. For example, your system should get shut down, so how will you save the data into the file? So I think it is good every time you get the data, save in the file. Every time you get the data, save in the file. So we will keep doing this operation again and again because we don't want to lose the data. Because if we will save the data at the time of closing application, so this is not possible in case your light get down or your system get crash or any other problem from any other environment could harm your data. So data is important, so that's why we will keep our data in the files. Yes, you will keep your data in the files because you want to persist your data. You want to save your data for infinite time. Because if you will not keep your data in the file, you will keep the data in the list or in the classes, in the objects, it will crash when the application will close. ऐसे ही है ना, खत्म हो जाता है ना डेटा. अगर हम वेरिएबल में डेटा स्टोर करते हैं, ऑब्जेक्ट्स में डेटा स्टोर करते हैं, तो डेटा जब एप्लीकेशन क्लोज होती है, खत्म हो जाता है, तो हम फाइल में इसलिए सेव करते हैं ताकि डेटा हमारा परमानेंट रहे. ठीक है. So these are few wireframes. So this is the main menu. Okay. Product management, customer management, create new sales, view order history and exit application. So this is the product sub menu. So where we add the product, update the product, delete the product and view all the products. So this is a customer where we add a customer, update a customer, delete a customer and view all the customer. This is view order history where we view all the orders, view order by customer name and go back to the main menu. So this is all the whole kind of scenario to make you little confused. In that case, you can write a code to create the file. In case your file is not there, you have the code for that. Now you can check like file dot not exist. Yes. So this is all, we call it a validations. So you can add different validation on your data. You can add different checks on your decisions because you have the I think code for that. Like file dot exist is a function basically that checks the file is there or not. Okay. So so if you see, we have around 3 different files. So product.txt, customer.txt, order.txt, and these are some suggested classes that you can create. Okay, initially we will create a product class, a customer class, and order class. And in order class, we will create a with for order, we will create a. So the first and the most important thing is you need to identify the models. You need to identify the models. Like you have to draw the CRC for this. You have to identify the relation between them. They have, relation of course with them. Like for product, uh, we have a list of product. We have a list of customer. For order, we have a different items in the order. Well, we will maintain that data in the order. Now this is your decision again. You can maintain the orders data by customer, or you can maintain the orders data individually, and in each order you can keep the customer's data. दो तरीका कार है ना कि आप कस्टमर के हिसाब से ऑर्डर मेंटेन करें, यानी कि हर कस्टमर जो प्रोडक्ट ले रहे हैं, एक तरीका कार ये है। दूसरा ये है कि हर ऑर्डर के अंदर कस्टमर का नाम रखें, तो बाद में आप ऑर्डर की डिटेल के अंदर जाके भी कस्टमर का देख सकते हैं कि किस किस कस्टमर ने कौन कौन से ऑर्डर प्लेस किए हैं। Okay, so I will not draw the diagram because I don't have the tool at the moment. So, oh, I'm God. My God. My laptop is not charging actually. Okay, well, what we need first? Suggest me. We need a 4 folders. One is for product. One is for very good customer and order. Sounds good. Order and what? What else? Order item. Because order item is something that will stay in the order. That's why we don't need a folder. So this is the decision actually that you have to make. अब देखो ना, ऑर्डर आइटम हम अलग से आइटम नहीं है, हल्के ऑर्डर आइटम क्या है, ऑर्डर के अंदर लिस्ट आएगी ना कि एक ऑर्डर होगा, उसके अंदर जितने आइटम होंगे हम ऑर्डर के अंदर सेव करेंगे. सो फॉर दैट केस यू विल नॉट create a separate folder for that. Yeah, there is no shortcut in the success for success. Very simple. Yes. Yes, you're right. Okay. So first, then we also make one more, folder there for maybe driver or raw. You can make one more folder common. Okay. Common. So these are some folders that we totally need. Now we will create a one class in this. Let's start with the customer, because if you see this, so we have the first customers. Okay. So this is customers, product. Okay, well, let me go back, because if you see the first thing is shop management system. So we have shop menu. So I think we make one just class, general class, and we call it a shop. Okay, so in this class we will make different functions that will deal with the whole driving of the code. So this class will act as a driver code, and we will create the object of this driver class into the program, and everything will work. So right now, so we call it a driver class. Sorry. Yeah, folder. Yeah, you can right click on the project name. Actually, this is a solution and this is a project. So in a single solution, you can create a multiple projects. So when you create a folder, you need to click on the project. You can go to this add and choose new folder. But I would suggest don't follow me in this lecture. You can watch this video later on. You can follow the step. If you will be doing with this, you will miss so many things. Well, so this is a shop class. So this is, we call it a driver class, where we will write our all driver code. Let's begin with the first. Make a function like a public void int main menu. Okay, so sorry, we take all these menus. Okay, so you may console dot write, like we draw this line, for ending, and for this we call it a POS. So I name it a POS, point of sale application. Okay, and then you display all these menus. 1, 2, product management, आप मुझे बताते जाएं। कस्टमर मैनेजमेंट, ऑर्डर मैनेजमेंट, व्हाट इज थर्ड, फोर्थ, एग्जिट, व्यू ऑर्डर हिस्ट्री, and the fifth is exit. Let's decorate it. Console dot foreground red, and then again back white. So we will turn the foreground color to red. We will display this, so this will give us a red color, and then we will turn the overall foreground color of the console back to the white. Okay, so here we take input. Okay, so I think it is good idea to make a string here, because in string you can, even if you accidentally enter something like a 1122, at least our application will not crash. So but if you make it int and you enter something like a ABC or something like that, your application will crash. So it is good idea to get the option in the form of string. So why we are taking in the string? Yes, we can compare strings like OP is equal to double quotes में 1 लिख देंगे, double quotes में 2 लिख देंगे. Yeah, of course. So okay, let's see. Then we will change our mind अगर मुश्किल हुआ तो. So this is one menu. Okay, so this is one menu. Okay, it is good idea to write one more function, public void start, and here we call main menu. Yes, I'm adding few sportive functions here. So what I do, actually I go to the program. Here I create the object of shop class, and here I call function start. So when you will call the start function, it will call the menu function, and you will get the menu on the console. So let's run and test our code. So yes, we are getting it, but very bad design, because we don't need it. Okay, well, now that was very fundamental concept. We are doing this from our first semester. So now let's start working for the customer. I think we should start with the customer, maybe. Product. Okay, okay, no problem. I will listen to you, you have to listen to me. Okay, now let's do it for the customer. So for customer, how many classes we will create? 4. Okay, the first class is product model. Product. Okay, no, we will not make the file helper class in this common folder. No, file helper class is not responsible for all types of files. Yes, we can write some helping functions that are common to all files, but this repository class will only deal with the file for this product. What we need as product service. Okay, we need one more class, product repo. Spelling मुश्किल है ना उसकी. So repo is a common term we mostly use for repository. Actually, you can find this even on the Google and on the website. So repo is for repository. Okay, product UI. Okay, well, we have all this code here. So in UI, what we will do? What we will do? So we need a menu initially for product management. Okay, so we call it a public string product menu. Okay, so we write all the code. Just let me copy it. If you allow me to copy this code, because I also don't mind when you copy the code, because I'm not sure you are copying it or you're not. So I will just change the text. So here we have product management. Okay. And what are the options for this? Add, update, delete, and view all. Add, add, update, delete, view all. Okay. And for 5, we call it a back, not a exit, back. Like we will send this back to the main menu. Okay. Now let's go to the product and define the attributes that we need for the product. So we need a private string. Well, why we are taking it private? Okay, no problem. Let's take it public. Okay. So when you create a variable as a private, it means you cannot access that variable outside of this class. Even this is recommended. Then to initialize the value to that variable, we will use the functions. We will for first time we will use the constructor, and for later on for any change we will use the functions. So I think you guys are quite clear about this concept. So let me allow to make them all the function variables public, because I will be using directly in the different operations. Okay. Still I have to write all the functions. Okay. I think we should follow the standard thing, private. So when you make the private variable, how many of you watch the video? When you make a private variable, you initially start the variable name with the underscore. This is again a recommendation, but I never follow this, so that's why I'm skipping it. Yeah, I never follow it. I'm not a programmer actually. I'm a kind of solution architect. So this is a new term. Okay. Okay, so we need a product description, private. Okay, I will definitely now we need this getter and setter here ना. मुझे नहीं आता वो वाला. Price. Yeah, you can introduce multiply like purchase price, sale price. भाई अगर फिदान कह रहा है तो अब फिदान की बात टाल तो नहीं सकते ना. ठीक है, अभी उसकी सारी बातें मान रहा हूं मैं, पेपर में फेल कर दूंगा. मैं कहूंगा मेरी एक बात मान लो. फ्लोट एंड discount. Why we need the discount here? So this is the kind of like, well, actually in the actual point of sale application, we have different types of discounts. Sometimes you get the percentage type of business discount, sometimes you get the fixed discount. So sometimes there's a range discount, like if you will buy this number of products you will get this percentage of discount. So this time let's deal with the one single fixed discount. Like if you will pass a value, that value will be considered as a discount amount. ओके, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम 100 पास करते हैं तो जो टोटल प्रोडक्ट होगी उसकी 100 उसमें से माइनस करके प्राइस निकल आएगी. वेल ओके. नहीं, हम डिपेंड्स, हमारी अभी रिक्वायरमेंट ऐसी नहीं है. लेट्स राइट द फंक्शन कंस्ट्रक्टर प्रोडक्ट मॉडल. आई एम जस्ट वेटिंग फॉर इट टू कंप्लीट फॉर मी. बट नो, very bad AI. This time help me please. Yeah, got it. हाँ, क्या मसला है? Yeah, these variables are private. It means these all variables are accessible inside the class. Okay, very good question. Let me clear his doubt. These all variables are private. It means these all variables are accessible inside this class, but you cannot access these variable outside of this class. Outside means, for example, if I make the product class object here or in any other class, I will not access those private variables. Okay, let me show you that. For example, one of the variable is public. Okay, one of the variable is public, and I make the kind of default constructor also, product model. Okay, now let me show you. For example, in the shop, I make a product class constructor object. So right now I'm not able to create the object. Why? No, private has nothing to do with the object creation. The problem is that I am going to create a product class object in shop. The namespace of the shop is class app. And if you see the product class, the namespace of this is class app dot product. So if both classes belongs to different namespace, then we have to introduce namespace here. हमें यहाँ पे namespace लिखनी पड़ेगी. उसका तरीका कार ये है, simply just go there, click on this, and you will get the hint. Okay, no problem. So we will use like using class app dot product. So when you will include the namespace, then you can create the product model. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Model, product model, and product model. So if you remove this, you will get the error. See, when there are two classes, they belongs to different namespaces, then you cannot directly create the object here. You need to tell your this class where you are creating the object, you have to include the namespace in this section. Yes, there is one solution, like you change the namespace to the same. For example, I go there, I remove this, and now this is also class app and that is also class. It will work, but it is good to keep namespaces differently folder wise. Not possible to create a class without namespace. नेम स्पेसेस का एडवांटेज ये होता है कि जब आपके पास दो क्लासेस सेम नाम की हो ना तो डिफरेंट नेम स्पेसेस में हो, फिर कंफ्लिक्ट नहीं आता. अच्छा, now this is P1. So this is the object of product model. So I can access the name variable here. Why I can access it? Because the name variable is public. But I cannot access the other members. If you see price, like, it will give me the error. If you see the price variable is already there. So let's sale price, for example. I cannot access that because if you see and you can read this, product model dot sale price is inaccessible due to its protection level. Okay, so this is the concept of public and private actually. So if something is a public, it means you can access that variable outside of the class where you create the object. If something is private, you cannot access. So now if all these variables are private, then how can I make them accessible outside the class? Yes, the one possible solution is make the getter and setter. So I think we can use this, do you know how we can generate all the getters and setters? No, there is no option there. यहाँ पे तो नहीं है. Okay, well, no problem. Yes, you can. For this, we create all the public void set name. This dot name. So this is a setup. What it does actually, when you will call this function, you will pass it a name and it will update this name. That is private. Okay, so if you want to add some condition, you can add some condition here. So this is beauty of making it as a setter. So now we need the getter of this public string get name. So this is how you can create the getter. What it does, it just return this dot name. This dot name means the value of this. Yes, that is one possible solution. You can write like a get set. Okay, so if you will write this, let's try this whether we can access it or not. Still we cannot access them. Okay, there is one more solution for that. Like we can make the getter as a like a private. I think the syntax is a little different. You can find it on the Google, but I'm actually a Java developer, so that's why I follow this convention. So in Java, you can only create a getter and setter, in this way. But still, this is a standard. You can follow this approach in all the programming languages and all technologies. Void set description. I think this is giving me some hints, so let me complete this quickly. So this is how you can write all the functions. Purchase, public, void, set, purchase price, I'm just waiting for it to give me a hint, but now actually this is on your side. Why we are writing so much code here? Because we are following convention, standardization. Yes, this will all benefit you in future, inshallah. Okay, we need just left with a discount. Okay, for discount, we are not going to set it. We will only provide the getter for that. No getter, just a setter. Okay, because we don't want to display the discount amount, but the price after discount. Okay, so for this, I think whenever you get the sale price, you may write like minus discount. See, but with making them public, you cannot do it. ये एडवांटेज मिल रहा है ना? फंक्शन था तो हमने जो सेल प्राइस थी उसमें से डिस्काउंट माइनस करके डायरेक्ट रिटर्न की है. ठीक है? So every time you will call it, you will get the discounted price. So if the value of discount is 0, you will get the real price. If you have some value in the discount, so we don't want to update the discount value. If you want to keep the discount only one time, you cannot write the setter. And if you want to just see what is the discount value, so you just only provide getter get discount. So return. So we are not going to write its setter. Okay, because we don't want to update the value of discount. Yes, you can write it. In my business, I'm not allowing other developer to update the value of discount. I say like whenever you will enter it, just we will use that value for discount. Okay, this is one class. Okay, This is a one class and we call it a model. Okay, now what is next? What we have to complete next? Repository. Okay, in the repository the first thing we will create like a private read only string file product.txt. Why we make some variable read only? Yes, we make the variable read only because we only want one time initialization. So if you make a variable read only, you cannot assign it a value again. Okay, for example, we have a constructor in this class. Hold on. Public product repo. So basically, it will give error here because if you initialize the file variable with the one value, so you cannot assign it the value again. हम एक दफा इसको असाइन कर सकते हैं वेरिएबल को वैल्यू, दूसरी दफा नहीं कर सकते. ठीक है, देखो ना फाइल का नाम को हमने चेंज तो नहीं करना ना, तो ऐसे वेरिएबल जिनकी वैल्यूज एक ही दफा असाइन होती है बाद में हम चेंज नहीं करना अलाउ नहीं करते, तो ऐसे को हम रीड ओनली बना देते हैं. ये एक अच्छी अप्रोच है. ठीक है, आप ना भी बनाए तो कोई उससे हर्ज नहीं है, बट ये एक अच्छी अप्रोच है, तो हमने साथ साथ अच्छी चीजें भी सीखनी है. ठीक है, दैट्स व्हाई वी मेक इट अ रीड ओनली. अच्छा जी, व्हाट वी नीड एल्स हियर? वी नीड अ वन फंक्शन. Okay, we will call it a save in a file. Okay, you can name it any you want like a file. What we pass it? Student model. Okay, student model. And why we are getting error here? Oh sorry, product model. Okay, now we will pass it a product model object. What it will do? Data it will student dot. Okay, I think it is good idea to write a toString function in this. Public void. Okay, override toString. override के बगैर भी चल जाएगा. ठीक है, okay, what we have? Name comma description comma purchase price sale price discount. Okay, so this is a one way. This is 100% same like this. Name plus description plus this is same. That one is a more sophisticated way to write or complete this code. Okay, so it is quite easy now. Like every variable you are writing in the brackets, angle brackets, so it will return the value of those variables. And for if you are writing something without brackets, so it will consider that as a string. Okay, okay, now let's go to the repo class. So what we do actually, we say like using stream writer, and here we say stream dot write student dot toString. What it will do, and I think we have to open the file in the false or true. True mean append mode. What it does actually, why we are using keyword here? There are few operations like when you are dealing with the files, when are you dealing with the database, when you are dealing with the network like on the internet, there are some steps you have to make, like you have to safely close the file, safely close the database connection, safely close the internet connection. So there are some problems with these approaches, like when you write the code in this using, and after this bracket it close all those automatically. It internally call all those functions that are required for anything, so it will automatically close all For example, you're opening a file, so you don't need to close the file. If you're using this technique, after this bracket, it will automatically close the file. And this is a safe way to close a file. Because when you write your function explicitly, there is a possibility at that time your application get crashed, and what will happen? But this is 100% sure by the this is 100% sure by the um, providers. Like it will close the file safely. When you pass through, it open the file and append the data into the file. So for example, if you have 5 records, it will add the new record on 6th line. If you make it false, every time it open the file and it remove all the data and open the file from the and add new record from the beginning. Okay, so we have this function. What it does actually, when you will pass is a product object, it will call its toString function. So toString function क्या करेगा? Return the whole data, comma separated, and write the data into the file. Let's write one more function, public. So we want to load all the data from the file into a list. नहीं, hold on. Get products from file. What it will do, when you will call it, here we will write the logic to load all the data from the file, make a list of product and return. Why we are making the list? Because it is easy for us to deal with the list. We can iterate on the list. So every time we will iterate on the list, we will get a single object at a time, and you can operate on a single object easily. Okay. So let me complete this code here. What we will do actually, we will create a list here, product model. And why we are creating list? Because now we will open a file. We will load all the data from the file. We will load this list with the data and we will return it. So every time you need the whole data of the file, you will call this function. It will create a list, load all the data from the file into the list and return you a list. Okay, so let's write the code using stream reader for while कर देते हैं ना. ज्यादा नहीं लगी, कम लगी थी. Now every time this function will read this loop will read a single line. Okay, now we have a single line here. So what we need actually, we need to separate the data. We need to separate data. If you see how we are storing the data, comma separated, and how many records in the data? Name, description, purchase price, sale price, and discount. Total how many records? 5. So let's copy this for our ease into this repo. Let's commit this code here. So it means this will be on 0 position, this will be on 1 position, this will be on 2, 3, and 4. The one solution is that you may use the function that we created, parse file, or and one other solution is that what we do here, we call it a parts line dot split, and here you write comma. What it will do, it will take a line, hold on, let me explain it. It will take a line, split the whole line by commas, and it will store all parts into this array. So the first part will store on 0 index, the second part will store on, and so on. Now what we do actually, we create some helping variable like a product name, and we do like that, string int float sale price. Now the problem is coming in this part. So when you will write like that, it will give you error because this part is a string type of array. So you cannot store this string into the float. So what you will do, float dot pass, and you will pass this and it will return you the string into the float. ये string को क्या करेगा, float में convert करेगा. Float थर्ड क्या था, अच्छा ये लो. Yes, this is a C sharp function. .NET is not a language. .NET is a runtime. So basically, this .NET is a runtime that provide an environment to the C sharp to run on. No. C sharp is a language, is a technology. .NET is a runtime. .NET Core is another type of runtime that is platform independent. Well, did you understand this code? ये क्या करेगा? What it will do? Every time it will read a line and it will split the line by comma. So it will store all the parts on different indexes. So if your structure is well defined like that, so you can easily, get idea, like on 0 index, you will get the name. On a 1 index, you will get the description. On 2 index, you will get the purchase price. On 3, sale price. On 4. But this is only feasible solution when your data is formatted like that. If your data is not structured, you may not use this technique. Okay. Now what is next? Yes, you can add all the checks there. Like you can even check before assigning the data to this. Of course, there is a possibility you may have a wrong data in the file. Okay, so the application will crash. So you can add all the checks, but this is not a 8 hours lecture, not possible to cover everything. Okay, hold on. Just let me complete this part, please. Now, what is next? We have all the data in these variables. We have all the data in the variables. We need to add the data into this list. How we can do it? Muskan, आप बताएंगी. We have all the data here. We need to add this data into this list. How we will do it? We have this. Can we add this data in this list? First, we need object of what? Product model. And you will pass these name, product name, description, purchase price, sale price, discount. You will create object and then you will add this object to this list. What we did actually, we open a file, we loaded all the data. Every time on the line, we extracted the data, we created object and we added the object into the list. वो ये देनी जरूरी है ना, नहीं देंगे ना तो वहां पे ये एरर दे सकती है. ठीक है, नहीं दे रही. समटाइम असल में ये गुड टेक्निक होती है कि लोकल वेरिएबल्स को हमेशा इनिशियलाइज किया जाए. दिस इज गुड. कोई भी रैंडम वैल्यू, एम्प्टी वैल्यू दे दे या नल दे दे, जीरो दे दे. ठीक है, समटाइम एरर आता है कुछ सिनेरियोज में, वो मैं भी आपको बताऊंगा. क्योंकि हम सेफली यूज कर रहे हैं तो शायद इस वजह से एरर नहीं आ रहा. नाउ ये क्या करेगा, अब इसमें एरर क्यों आ रहा है? क्योंकि हमने अब रिटर्न क्या करवानी है, रिटर्न प्रोडक्ट्स मॉडल्स, या हम इसको बोलते हैं प्रोडक्ट्स लिस्ट. Let's change the name to make it more meaningful. So now this is a standard function. Every time you will call it, it will open a file, load all data into the list, and you can call it anywhere you want. Now we have done with the repo work. Let's take a 5 minutes break and then start with the next class.